listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to Refocused Radio. We are here once again today. Just like another day, we have another show line for y'all. Today, we have a true honor talking to Elizabeth Vargas. She is the anchor on Elizabeth Vargas Reports. You can watch that on NewsNation weeknights at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central. Today, we're going to talk about some big numbers from NewsNation. If you didn't watch the GOP fourth debate, it was record-breaking numbers. So first and foremost, I want to welcome you, Elizabeth, and say how you doing today.
I'm great. How are you?
Man, I'm doing awesome. Other than Texas allergies, I'm doing great today. So y'all breaking numbers at NewsNation. Over 4 million viewers delivered on Wednesday night for the final GOP presidential primary debate combined with CW Network. Y'all been growing super fast. What do you think is the secret sauce for y'all's network?
Well, we're just trying to serve the moderate majority in the middle. You know, I think that the cable news landscape is littered with a lot of far right or far left networks where, honestly, in many cases, they deliver affirmation instead of information. Just tell people, yes, you're right, whatever you believe. And not ever, deliver. That doesn't serve anybody. You know, if you really want to learn about the world, part of life in general, this isn't just politics, by the way, you're not always right. There is nobody who's 100% right. And we all get better by hearing different opinions. So I think we aim to, interview leading, figures from both sides of the aisle and have people from communities, rural red state communities and big blue state communities. And in many cases, a lot of what they say is the same. And I think that it's also a good reminder that there's more that binds us than divides us in some cases. And to try and focus on that as opposed to that sort of red meat, us against them, we're all right and they're all wrong philosophy, which serves no one.
And when it comes to the demographic breakdown, from adults 25 to 54, the debate really attracted a lot of key, important age groups as far as you look at voters.
It did, and it built every 15 minutes, which showed that I think that the debate, we were going viral online and social media, and people saw that we were, something's going on. Let me tune in after all. I had decided first to ignore it because why bother? And wait, something's happening. I'm going to turn it on and watch after all. So that was great. It was great.
When you look at the network growth and how it's attracting people all across the nation, not just a certain side of the nation, but all across the nation, what do you hope that y'all continue to do and rolling into the next year?
Sure. We need to grow. We're brand new. There's only one way to go, and it's up. And hopefully it'll be a faster trajectory upward than a slow build. But I think either way, that's our mission statement, and we're dedicated to it. And we give us a shot. Like, tune in and see if you like it. I think people will. But yeah.
When you look at the opportunities to educate people with the news, like you said earlier, is not slanted to certain side, is more based on facts and information. What is so important about viewers to be more educated versus, like you said, cater towards just a slant?
Oh my gosh, what's that quote? He who does not learn from history is doomed to repeat it. We have a lot going on in this world that is serious, really, really serious. And with deep, historical analogies and lessons. What's happening with Ukraine and Russia, I think people need to be students of World War II history. What's happening in the Middle East, this is not a simple conflict. This is a very profoundly complicated conflict. And I think, for example, we see a lot of these, protesters, across college campuses and in many cities talking about the Palestinian cause and Hamas, and the vast majority of them, I could not tell you the history of, the Palestinians walking away from the negotiating table for a two-state solution. It is very there is no, this actor in the Middle East conflict is only good and this actor is only bad. And it's interesting that so many of these protesters, for example, are attacking Israel for its assault on Hamas. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot about the way they are waging this campaign that is open to, there's a lot of room for criticism there. Having said that, nobody out there protesting about the Israeli treatment of Palestinians in Gaza is, nobody's attacking Jordan or Egypt or any of these other Arab countries for not taking in all these desperate Palestinians who desperately need help. Remember, Egypt is refusing to allow them into Egypt. Jordan is refusing to allow them into Jordan. Where's the outrage over Arabs, countries refusing to do that? You certainly don't see it in all the protests in the United States.
Yeah, I have to make a comment. You can tell your colleagues, Dan Abrams, I love watching the show live, and also Chris Cuomo. I love how he does the little spiel with audience having a chance to call in and stuff. And also your show.
Good.
I'm watching.
You were one of the callers who made the cut on Chris's show. That's fantastic. Listen, Dan Abrams is one of the smartest shows on cable television. I really, and he's a lawyer. His father's a very famous lawyer, First Amendment lawyer. He's a lawyer, and his coverage of the Republican impeachment inquiry has been stellar. He has been fearless, and he will point, he definitely criticizes Democrats a lot, but he's been fearless about pointing out in very lawyerly, and he'll spend 10 minutes outlining what the evidence shows, but more importantly, what it doesn't show, thus far. It shows Hunter Biden was sleazy and cashing in on his dad's name, for sure. Definitely, Hunter Biden was a troubled guy who was addicted to drugs, and he had a bad time of it, for sure. Definitely, the mainstream media ignored the Hunter Biden laptop initially. Is that because they just decided to ignore it? Maybe, but it's also because Rudy Giuliani wouldn't turn it over, and they was just expecting everybody to take his word for it. Rudy Giuliani does not have a lot of credibility right now. So, but there is no evidence, according to Dan Abrams, and I think he's right. And according to, there is no direct evidence yet that Joe Biden did anything wrong. So, the Republicans need to come up with the goods. They've got to produce the goods, and the pressure's on them now that they've approved this impeachment inquiry. But anyway, all this to say, I work with some great colleagues, really, really talented, great colleagues.
You can watch Elizabeth Vargas on Elizabeth Vargas Reports on NewsNation every weeknight at 6 p.m. Eastern, 7 and 5 Central. Go to newsnationnow.com. Thank you for your time. Have a good one.
Thanks. You too.